Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Well, we're already up to April 21st. We have our in-depth news for you, a news article that is somewhat lengthy, but we feel is also very important and well worth the time spent on it. This one is called UN Climate Conference Ends on a Low Note.
Usually we talk about a high note.
Yeah. 好，我们的中文标题是联合国气候峰会落幕，核心议题待解决啊。那为什么这样讲呢？因为 ends on the low note， 它就是以一个让人失望啊，让人觉得不是很快乐的方式所结束。那英文通常讲说 ends on the high note， 好，那就表示怎么样？这个大家觉得对这个会议的结果很兴奋啊，觉得很棒这样子。所以这个是正好相反的，所以我们才会说，看这文章内容，我们知道它是一些核心的议题其实是待解决的。
Now, this is our reading comprehension reading, so we have 3 questions for you at the end. They are based on the content of this article, short article. So please pay attention, and then you'll be able to get all the questions right. The UN's Climate Change Conference, COP25, took place in December 2019 in Madrid. And even though the event kicked off with a sense of urgency, the end results fell short of what had been hoped for. Every year, the meeting brings together the countries that are part of the UN Convention on Climate Change, which passed the Paris Agreement in 2015, with the purpose of checking and ensuring that environmental goals are being met. Before the opening of the conference, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres noted that climate change was reaching a point of no return and that definitive political action was needed. Despite the hope that COP25 would address weak points in the Paris Agreement and outline a clear path forward, the conference ended with a deal that was considered an unfortunate compromise. Delegates chose to delay action on certain issues, such as carbon markets, until the 2020 conference. The negotiations also ended with a text that took pressure off some of the world's largest countries, including the U.S., Brazil, India, and China, in tackling emissions. Guterres, disheartened by the conference results, said, "The international community lost an important opportunity to show increased ambition on the climate crisis." Following the disappointing end to COP25, all parties are now looking to COP26, which will take place in Glasgow, Scotland. At the November 2020 conference, countries will need to present new climate pledges, and issues that were put on hold in Madrid will be addressed. Once again, hopes will be high that world leaders will step up and approach climate change efforts with the gravity that the situation requires.
So the UN's Climate Change Conference, which is called COP25, it took place in December 2019 in Madrid. And we were trying to actually figure out what COP25 stands for, so we're doing a bit of Googling. And the best I can come up with is that Google doesn't really know. Which is to say, we've only Googled it for 5 minutes, so it wasn't like a deep research. I found this one article that calls it the Conference of the Parties, COP25, and why that's maybe that's like a UN designation, and then like this one is the Conference of the Parties on Climate Change. I don't know. No one seems to know in the 5 minutes that we looked. So anyways, this thing took place in December 2019 in Madrid. And even though the event kicked off with a sense of urgency, the end results fell short of what had been hoped for. If something kicks off, it begins. So the event kicked off, began with a sense of oh gosh, there's so many problems to solve. We got to solve them. That's what urgency means, a sense of that time is running out and that things must be addressed right now. However, the end results fell short of what had been hoped for. So the end results, and this is the outcome, what happened at the end of the meeting is that things weren't really done. They fell short of what people were trying to achieve. We were trying to achieve 100% and maybe it was only 60%. If you fall short of, you do less than what was intended.
好，所以联合国的气候变化会议，好，这个 climate change conference， 好，那这个简称 COP25， 好，那刚刚我们稍微很快的 Google 了一下，发现好像也不太 Google 也没有讲到这个 COP 哪3个字缩写，哈，不过我们反正这个名字蛮好记的哈。那这一个联合国的这气候变化会议呢 took place 就是举行啊，在2019年的12月举行的，在哪里呢？在 Madrid 哈，在这个马德里。然后呢 ，even though 虽然 the event kicked off 啊，那 kick off 本来是指足球啊，足球比赛的开球哈 ，kick off。那现在我们常常讲一个 meeting 啊，或者一个 event 可以 kick off， 就是 start 的意思。所以虽然这个会议呢开始啊的时候呢是有一个 sense of urgency 啊，大家觉得哎呀，这个我们要讨论很多很具有迫切性的、很急切性的议题。所以这个 sense of urgency 指的是这个 issues 啊，这里 the issue is 或者 the issues are urgent。然后呢，虽然是这样子，但是 the end results 就是最后的结果哈。那曾经有人讲过啊，这个 end result 是 redundant 哈，因为 result 一定是在 end 才会有 result 啊。不过现在常常看到 end result 这种说法啊，当然也有人 justify 说这个 end result 啊，它是相对于 temporary result 啊，不是暂时的结果，而是最后的 final result 啊。所以这个字的用法跟大家解释一下啊，因为也曾经有学生问我说，诶，老师，那 end 跟 result 不是2个字意思差不多，一定 result 一定在 end 嘛啊？好，那大家了解到现在这种用法。所以呢，就是这个会议的结果啊，最后的结果 fall short of 就是不够、不足、不及的意思啊。没有到达，没有达到 what had been hoped for 原来所希望的，所以换句话说，这次会议没有什么很重大的进展。
Every year, the meeting brings together the countries that are part of the UN Convention on Climate Change, which passed the Paris Agreement in 2015, with the purpose of checking and ensuring that environmental goals are being met. Woo!All right, so we have this annual meeting or conference, and this is part of an effort by the United Nations Convention on Climate Change. And this is newer than the Paris Agreement, which was passed or put into effect in 2015, in which many nations promised to start reducing their pollution, for example.And the purpose was to check and ensure that environmental goals are being met. So you can sign a piece of paper and then do nothing, and you get credit for being, look, we signed the agreement, we support the agreement, but we just support our signature. We're not doing anything about it. Some countries are like that who signed the agreement. And the rest of this article will tell us more about why this is a low note.
好，所以呢 every year 每年 the meeting 这个会议呢 brings together 就是汇集啊，这个让大家都过来叫 brings together the countries 让所有的国家啊这些国家来汇集。那这些国家是什么样的国家呢？后面一个关系代名词子句修饰它 that are part of the UN Convention on Climate Change 这些国家呢是联合国气候变迁公约里面的一部分，也就是联合国气候变迁公约的这个会员国啊。那 convention 在这个会员国的意思。然后这个联合国气候变迁公约怎么样呢？它后面括号告诉你 which passed 就是这个公约通过了巴黎协定啊，在2015年通过了巴黎协定。所以他每年把这些当初有这个签署巴黎协定的国家通通找来啊 with the purpose of 那目的是要干嘛呢？是要 checking 在这也是 verifying 的意思，他要判定啊，要检查一下啊 verify 就是 verify 啊，看一看是不是真的啊，你是不是真的有这个遵守这个规定啊，遵守这个协定啊，他要 verify， now checking 啊，要 verifying， 还有要 ensuring 就确保 that environmental goals are being met， 好 you meet a goal 就是达到这个目标，所以他们要确定一下环保目标有没有被达到。
Now, before the opening of the conference, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres noted that climate change was reaching a point of no return, and that definitive political action was needed. A point of no return is a point at which change is irreversible. And definitive means defined or well understood political action. Like clearly laid out political action was needed.
好，那我们可以看到这个句子，他说在这个会议开始之前，好，那这个联合国秘书长Antonio Guterres noted， 他特别提到怎么样呢 ？Climate change， 他提到说这个气候变迁呢 was reaching， 正在到达一个 point of no return， 各位把它背起来。A point of no return 就是没有回头的地方了，好，无法逆转了，啊，叫做这个 a point of no return。啊，刚刚 Angela 老师用到说，这个当你到了 point of no return 的时候呢，它 change is irreversible， 就是无法转回的意思。好 ，verse 是转嘛，那前面加个 ir 就是不能转啊，所以无法转回的。
Yeah, the re is back.
Yeah.
Instead of in or un, we're using ir because the next syllable starts with an r.
Yeah, ir 字首那个 ir 就是否定的意思。那为什么是 ir 不是 in 呢？因为常常是 in， 因为它下面这个是这个是 reverse。那 reverse re 是 back 或者 again 所以因为所以这个字有两个 r， 好，那这 irreversible。好，然后呢，他说已经快要没有办法回头了已经糟糕了然后呢 ，and that 他还说definitive 就是明确、确定的、很清楚的讲出来的这个很明确的一个这个 political action 政治的行动 was needed 是必要的。
Okay, next paragraph.Despite the hope that COP25 would address weak points in the Paris Agreement and outline a clear path forward, the conference ended with a deal that was considered an unfortunate compromise. Despite or in spite of, 3 words, it means ignoring this. There was a hope, but it seemed ignored, that COP25 would address. Here, the verb address means to take into account or to deal with weak points in the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement was not a completely useful agreement, and it had some problems with it that we can call weak points. And people hoped, okay, COP25 should be better than the Paris Agreement. It should outline a clear path forward. It should be very clear. It should be very detailed in how to move forward.And despite that, the conference ended with a deal that was considered an unfortunate compromise. Unfortunate is 不好的. It's something that we don't want. It's a result that is not good. It's even unlucky. A compromise sounds good, that, all right, I'll give you this and you give me that, and then we can agree on something.
Which is most politics.
Absolutely.And maybe necessarily.
Yeah.
But this one was unfortunate because many people felt, well, nothing's going to change now.
OK, 我们看到这句子，他说 despite the hope that 尽管大家这么希望的意思despite 是介系词，后面是受词是名词 the hope， 再加一个 that 来表示是什么 hope。好，所以虽然大家都希望怎么样，这个COP25 would 它会怎么样？用 would 的原因是因为它这事已经过去了嘛大家都希望它可以。Address 就是处理的意思，它可以处理一些 weak points 一些弱点在这个巴黎协定里面一些弱点，我们希望这次会议可以处理我们也希望它能够 outline 在这里就是 to give the main features 或者是 various aspects of 能够规划出来这个大致的规划出来 a clear path forward 往前怎么样清楚的怎么样继续走下去因为现在大家都不太知道未来该怎么办这个各种说法都有，那希望他们这个会议能够讲出来说好，我们很清楚的接下来我们就是要这样做，那大家都希望他这样子，但是 the conference 这个会议 ended with 它的结束的时候是怎么样，是用一个 deal 一个协议来结束的，那这个协议怎么样 that was considered 被认为是后面加个补语，被认为是什么呢？这个协议这个 deal 被认为是一个 unfortunate 不幸的 compromise 妥协所以它这个很不幸的妥协，就大家其实都没有做该做的事情，大家就妥协了。
Now, we don't really find out clearly in this article what the compromise entailed. We just have one of the results, which is that delegates chose to delay action on certain issues. And these certain issues that they are not going to take action on right away are carbon markets. They're like, we'll talk about carbon markets next year at the 2020 conference. And I have no confidence anyways in carbon markets as a means of controlling our carbon output or remotely helping to protect the environment. So to me, I'm like, well, they failed to negotiate something that's useless anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure what they could have achieved. But anyways, yeah.
OK， 好，所以 delegates 就是这些与会的代表呢 chose to 他们选择 delay action 就是延迟他们的行动 on certain issues 在某一些事情某一些议题上面他们决定延迟他们的行动。那什么样的 issues 呢？例如such as 这个碳市场carbon markets 那把它延到什么时候呢？延到2020的这个会议。所以大家简单的说就是决定拖。
The negotiations, the chit-chat that was going on at this convention, people bringing up ideas, and then they would be discussed and then tabled. They would be delayed for a future time. Also ended with a text. So one of the results of this conference, they write and then broadcast what the conference was able to accomplish and what it couldn't. It took one of the things it couldn't do to help with improving the environment. It took pressure off some of the world's largest countries, such as the U.S., Brazil, India, and China, in tackling, in handling, in dealing with emissions. Here we're talking about carbon emissions, how to reduce the amount of methane, carbon dioxide, and other greenhouse gases.
好，那 the negotiations 就是这些协商呢，也 ended with 协商的结果也是一个 text 一个文本那当然也谈到里面的内容那这个文本怎么样？它 took pressure off 就是移除了压力，从谁身上移除了压力呢？ off 就是移除了压力从这些 some of the world's largest countries 从这些世界上最大的一些国家身上移除了压力是哪一方面的压力呢？我们先看到下一行，它是这个 took 我们看到它说 took pressure off some of the world's largest countries in tackling emissions， 所以在 in tackling 这个 emissions 方面移除了他们压力。那 tackle 这个字呢，就是 to engage or deal with 所以 tackle 常常是 we tackle a difficult problem。那所以这些国家本来是在处理碳排放 emissions 碳排放方面有很大的压力，但是呢，结果协商的结果，他们弄了一个 text， 这个 text 帮这些世界上最大的这些国家解除了压力的。那这些最大的国家包括什么呢？包括美国，包括巴西，包括印度，包括中国。
Gutierrez was disheartened by the conference results, and he said, the international community lost an important opportunity to show increased ambition on the climate crisis. It seems that the UN Climate Committee is facing a sense of them being useless, and they wanted to show...
I'm sorry, it doesn't seem this way.
Well,
it is this way.
They understand that they're being perceived as useless, and they wanted to be perceived as not useless, and they hoped that this conference would give them some face, and they lost this opportunity. That's basically what this sentence says.
Yeah, 所以这个国际社会呢 lost 对不起，这个是谁说的呢？这个是这个联合国秘书长。那他怎么样？他是 disheartened by the conference results。对于会议结果，他觉得非常 disheartened， 就是很沮丧dispirited D-I-S-P-I-R-I-T-E-D dispirited就是 losing hope or enthusiasm 他觉得很沮丧，整个人都觉得这个信心都没有了。那他在他很沮丧的情况之下，他说。这个国际社群国际社会 the international community lost 失去了一个重要的机会来展示 increased ambition 来展示说他们其实有更大的抱负 ambition 在这里可以翻成抱负在这个气候危机上面他们本来有更大的抱负但他们现在没有办法他们没有展示出来。那言下之意就是他们其实还是有很大的抱负，但是这次没有展现出来而已当然但这个都是外交语言他明明他们这次就是很失败了。
Okay, last paragraph. Following the disappointing end to COP25, all parties are now looking to COP26, which will take place in Glasgow, Scotland. Sorry for my being... I rather doubt that we're going to find much more progress in COP26 than in COP25, but they're trying.
To be honest, I thought that this article was being pretty vague up until now, and then I've been sort of Googling the the sort of details of what's happening in this conference. It's very hard to sum up all of the arguments that are going on. They're basically trying to find a work plan for what, and every country's like, yeah, but if you do that, then our industry is going to be affected. Yep. And so basically it's one giant argument that we're trying to sum up here.
And it's at the UN. Imagine 140 family members trying to deal with a will. And you get a picture of what's going on here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
所以这个会议的内容其实很难把它很简单的在这里转述哈。各位有兴趣的话，其实要去看一看，而且最好是有兴趣，这关乎所有的人的未来哈。所以在这个 disappointing end 这个让人失望的结果，就这个 COP25 它结果让人失望。那 all parties 各方现在都是 looking to 都寄望于这个 COP26， 那这个将会在这个苏格兰的 Glasgow 这个举办明年。
At the November 2020 conference, countries will need to present new climate pledges, and issues that were put on hold in Madrid will be addressed, because 2020 is when everybody's sort of more stringent standards kick in, and this conference is responsible for making sure that the countries have done what they said they were going to do. And also, everyone has to come up with new climate pledges. They have to say, okay, we've gotten stricter like this, and we're going to get even more stricter in the next 5 years. And plus, we're going to talk about the stuff we didn't talk about last year. So, it's very, very hard to get people to agree. It's even harder to get countries to agree, and it's even harder to get countries to agree on something that's very difficult, like climate change. So, one hopes they're doing the best they can.
Yeah, 好，所以呢，在这个2020 11月的会议上面呢，各国将必须要 present 他们要提出新的 climate pledges。pledge 就是誓约誓言他们必须要提出新的跟气候有关的一些誓言就是他们要承诺要做什么做什么做什么。那同时这个会议也需要这个处理一些 issues 一些议题那这些议题怎么样 that were put on hold， 这个议题被暂缓就 put on hold 就是暂缓，所以一些被暂时搁置的议题在马德里被暂时搁置的议题 will be addressed， 将会被处理。
Once again, hopes will be high that world leaders will step up and approach climate change efforts with the gravity that the situation requires. Once again is referring to this year's COP26. Hopes will be high. People can still hope for a better result, and they will be hoping there will be a better result. If only world leaders, presidents and people in courts and in legislatures, if they step up, if they meet the demand in order for climate change to have a chance of being dealt with, they have to approach climate change efforts. In order to do that, they have to meet or make their efforts suitable for the gravity of the situation. This means the seriousness of this situation. If you really understand what could happen, the tipping point, if we are approaching this, or maybe we're past it, we need to do something and do something now.
OK， 好，那我们看到这个句子，他说 once again， 再一次的 hopes will be high， 就是大家的希望都大家都充满希望。好，希望世界领袖们将会 step up。好 step up 就是怎么样？就是 to improve their performance 或者是 take on more responsibility 他们会想尽加快脚步简单的说，然后 and approach 在这里类似中文讲的面对他们要如何的面对 climate change efforts， 就是怎么样面对我们改善气候变迁的这些努力这些尝试他们的态度是怎么样，他们要怎么做。那希望他们能做 approach 这些 efforts with the gravity 就是 seriousness 或者 importance that the situation requires。他们要认真的面对这件事情正如同这个情况 所要求他们具有的那种认真的程度，也就是这个情况已经很认真、很严重了，他们必须要认真的、好好的、严肃的处理这些事情。
So we have 3 questions for you here. The first one of which is, which of the following is not true about the COP conferences?
关于联合国气候变化大会，下者何者错误？
Now, the answer is B. It most recently took place in Scotland. This is not true. The next one is due to be held in Scotland.
Yeah, 好，答案是 B。这届一次举办于苏格兰，这是错的，因为它是明年要在苏格兰举办。
Question number 2. What was one reason people were disappointed with COP25, according to the passage?
根据本文，何者是人们对于 COP25 失望的原因之一？
The answer here is C. Various problems were not addressed.
答案是 C， 许多问题都没有得到处理。
And number 3, what can we learn about COP26? That would be the one happening later this year in the last paragraph.
我们可以从最后一段知道关于 COP26 什么事情呢？
The answer is A. Items that will be on the agenda.
答案是 A， 将会被列在议程上的事项。
Okay, we hope you got all your questions right because you have a good understanding of COP25. That's it for today's program. Join us the next